Hi, it's Zoe here. This is a piece of work that I wrote quite a long time ago, so you'll have to excuse me if I slip up or anything, because my handwriting isn't very good. But here we go. She stared, eyes glued on the creature outside the kitchen window. It crept in quick dashes upside down around the tree trunk. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, Tess chirped as she continued to watch it descend down the trunk. Rats with furry tails, more like. Pests, Mr. Granger mumbled. Tess pulled her face. How can you say that? They're so cute, especially that one. She smiled as the squirrel attempted to navigate the bird feeder. Don't be so silly. They're all the same. You can't tell the difference between that one and the rest of the little devils out there, he argued. Tess gave up and walked down the hallway to her downstairs room. There she could have a better view without her critical father. It was a small room. Her bed, which ran along the side of the window, took up nearly the entire length of the room. Other than that, all there was in there was a chest of drawers, a small cupboard which lay under the stairs. Nothing else would fit. So it was a bit of a compromise, but Tess loved it, all the same. She used to have an upstairs room, but now the twins were due, it was a matter of weeks. Her two unborn sisters were in need of a nursery, so, for the time being, what used to be an office was her room. Tess had chosen the bedding and matching curtains herself, 4 fat stripes of different shades of green. But the curtains weren't up yet. Before there had been a horrible orange blind in there. That had been taken down, but Mr. Granger hadn't time to put the curtains up yet. Tess walked in and pushed the door behind her, with a soft tinkling sound from the dream catcher and wind chimes hung on the back of the door. Finally, peace at last. She walked across the room and crawled onto the bed on her knees. She leant with her elbows on the windowsill. Sure enough, the squirrel was still there. "Hello," she whispered softly. The squirrel sat upright on a small branch next to the bird feeder. "You're different from the rest of them, aren't you?" she said. The squirrel leant over, and using her teeth and delicate paws, prized a peanut from the feeder. She then sat upright again and munched it contentedly. As Tess spoke, the squirrel's ears twitched, as though she was listening. "Are you listening to me?" she asked, and the squirrel turned her head in Tess's direction. "You're so pretty. I can't believe some of the stuff Dad said. Pests. No one at school seems to see just how lovely squirrels are either. It's a shame, really. But no matter. It's half-term, so I have a whole week off school. I'll see you every morning, every afternoon, and every evening, all day long, every day." Just as she finished speaking, the squirrel finished the peanut, and fetched a new one. Tess continued, "And don't worry," she laughed. "I'll fill the bird feeder every day." Tess sat talking to the squirrel for some time, until finally she heard the oven opening and the clatter of crockery. Her nose told her it was time for supper. "Tess, supper time!" Mrs. Granger's voice rang out loud and clear down the corridor. "Coming," she replied. "And don't forget to wash your hands. Tell your brother and your sister upstairs, will you?" "Sure thing," she said as she bounded up the stairs to her elder sister, who was 14. "Reading a story, go away."
Do you have to read it out loud?
"Yes." I was recording it, but now you've ruined it. Okay, sorry I got interrupted by my brother. Carrying on. "And don't forget to wash your hands. Tell your brother and your sister upstairs, will you?" "Sure thing," Tess said as she bounded up the stairs to her elder sister's room. "Jenna, it's tea time," she said to her sister on the other side of the door. Jenna hurried downstairs and Tess continued to tell her two brothers, Ethan and Keelan. Finally, everyone was gathered at the table, and supper was served. Chili con carne, one of Miss Granger's specialities. Just as Tess took her first mouthful, her eyes drifted out of the French doors, and out of the back of the house, and up to the top of the ivy waterfall of a wall by the cherry blossom tree. There she was, deep chocolate eyes staring straight into Tess's. "Fox!" she murmured excitedly. "You what?" questioned Ethan, looking confused. "Fox is outside on the wall," she explained. "A fox? On the wall?" "Sure," she said sarcastically. "No!" Not a fox. Fox the squirrel. She's back, she continued. Fox continued to stare right back at Jess without breaking eye contact, not for a moment. Her whiskers were twitching, her ears flicking back and forth. She shuffled on her feet from foot to foot, sitting, standing, then sitting again, as though the wall she stood on was made of hot coals. Tess frowned at Fox's restless behaviour. She ate the remainder of her supper quickly, and then excused herself to go and put the family's small flock of 4 chickens and a duck away in the henhouse for the night. She grabbed the torch from above the washing machine in the laundry room, and fetched her pink coat from the hook, and left through the front door. Being mid-February, it still got dark pretty quickly, so she flicked on the torch, and slipped on her mum's polka-dot wellies, preferring them to her own old green ones. It was almost pitch black. Her breath hung in eerie clouds in the crisp, cold air. The torch lit the way, illuminating a circle large enough to see directly in front of her, until her eyes adjusted to the darkness. No wonder it's so cold, she thought, looking up to see a starry, cloudless sky. She turned the hose on, and then walked round the house. It was silent except the faint buzz of the main road a long way off, echoing across the valley, and an odd dog barking, cats yowling, and the cows on a nearby farm saying the good nights before settling for the night. A street light bathed the tree Fox had been sitting in outside Tessa's window earlier, yellow. As she came around the back of the house, passing under the cherry blossom tree, there was a light rustling sound. Tess spun around in the darkness, her torch flickering around, trying to find the cause of the noise. "Hello? Who's there?" she called nervously. In reply, the sound came a little closer, and she realised, in fact, it was the sound of small furry feet running and jumping through the treetops. "Fox? Is that you?" she whispered, shining her torch into the branches of the tree. Within a few moments she caught sight of her. "Fox, you scared me," she said, breathing a sigh of relief. Fox simply stared down on her. She had never ventured this close to the pale-faced girl with the bright auburn curls that framed her beautiful queer teal eyes. I brought you something," she said, pulling a handful of fresh peanuts from her pockets, hoping to tempt her a little closer. She held her hand up towards Fox. "It's okay. I won't hurt you. Come on," she encouraged gently. Fox watched the girl, listening to her soft, caring voice. It was something about her. Okay, so that's just the first bit of my writing. I know, I'm sorry, I'm terrible at reading out loud, and I wrote it quite a long time ago, so my handwriting is terrible. It's actually quite hard to read. But yeah, I'll do the next part of it in a second video. If you guys like it, that is. I don't know if you will. I wrote it quite a long time ago. I'm not very good at writing, but I quite enjoy it, so... Anyway. I just point out that the photo isn't mine. I don't have copyright on it or anything. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it, sort of. I tried. And I don't know how much of that you guys even heard very well. I'm not very good at speaking stuff, but yeah. So, yeah, please like, subscribe, share it, whatever. Yeah, and hopefully I'll get another video out to you guys soon with the last part of it. Thanks, bye.